Good morning, afternoon, wherever you are. I'm not as on the ball as Stephen indicating what times it's. Actually, I can see it on the screen. It's 10 a.m. in the UK and 5 a.m. Eastern time. I can see Jon in the background waiting to come waving at me. So let's bring him up.
Good morning, Fons. Can you hear me?
Morning. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, fine. No problem. So where is everybody else?
I don't, Peter sent a message. He's got to stand in for somebody. So at the moment, it's just me and you.
Oh, wonderful. Are either of the Stevens coming, do you know?
I don't. Stephen Healey, he's asked me to stand in again this week. So he's not.
Right.
He's not here, but he'll be back next week. I said that I'd cover for him again because I enjoyed it so much last week.
Under pressure, eh?
Yeah. Nice. Certainly different. Certainly different approach to what I'm used to. And
well, with no plan, no script, no
idea. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I spend all week planning the history show, and then, okay, what do I do on this one? Yeah, totally. Okay, well, in the news, do you want to talk about what's been in the news?
I'm going to talk about the Big Orange, if you like.
Say that again.
On the 75th celebrations.
Oh yeah, I did have a little thing to pop up on the screen. There you go. Yeah, 75 years of D-Day. So there's, like you're saying, celebrations going about. Oh, I can see somebody popping up in the background. We might have a surprise guest. I'll bring him up. I won't tell you who it is. I'll bring him up. Hello.
Oh, just a minute. Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, we got something. Yeah, no, that's good. I didn't think you'd be such a nice surprise.
Good. Good morning, Jon.
Morning, Stephen. We were just discussing the 75th D-Day anniversary. Oh my gosh. Big. I mean, I can't call him Lord Red anymore because he's resigned, hasn't he? Stephen from Stoke is here.
Morning, how are we?
Okay.
Good.
No breakfast meetings this morning.
Yeah. No, I've just walked back from. It's called the Tollgate Networking Club. It's about a mile away. And I walked back and I was listening to 5 Live, and they had guys and people talking about D-Day and some of the stories, and it's a little bit difficult. Luckily, I had my sunglasses on, but some of the stories, it just drives you to tears. These guys, so young, and what they did was amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
I think a lot nowadays, we don't really. Well, the younger generation doesn't really see what they went through, really, how bad it was.
Not.
Well, I think it's good to be reminded of the importance of this day and tomorrow, and basically we are here talking today because of what they did 75 years ago. It could have been totally different if they had not. I mean, it took 2 years to plan this. It was the largest. It was the largest seaborne assault, and it's just incredible, and so many stories coming out. And I thought it was today where they unveiled the monument, which is 3 British soldiers. That was very evocative of the spirit that was around then. and I'm just in awe, really, as I think we all are.
There was a lady who was saying that the guys who came back just didn't talk about it for decades. But one guy said that they watched that Saving Private Ryan, Tom Hanks movie, and they showed it to this veteran, and he said, "That's it. That's the closest I've ever seen to the invasion." So you automatically think, "Oh Christ, I've seen that," and you think, it's just horrific.
When my grandfather was involved. Oh, I don't know what I've done then. My grandfather was involved in it all, and he came back, and he wasn't the same person, and he really suffered quite bad and died from stuff that was witnessed and stuff and things that happened.
Yeah.
It's just strange, isn't it? You want to talk about it, but you know that a few moments into the conversation, you would just say, "Take me off camera." But what they did was, and I didn't realise, they were. You just said, Fonz, that they were doing 2 years of preparation for this, and there was a guy saying that his granddad or dad was based up in Scotland, where for months before they were doing the landings, one of the beaches in Scotland, but they were practicing this stuff day in, day out. And you can imagine it, can't you? Sort of, I'm guessing they were sort of mocked up the fire power that they would face out in Normandy. My brother-in-law, Steve Woolham, is out in Normandy at the moment with his dad, and they're doing the tribute type stuff, and and let's face it, D-Day is just one day of horror out of a war that lasted, was it 5 years? 5 years of.
I don't know. It's, if you look at the whole pictures of war in general, any war, it's just terrible, isn't it? Really, and something we never want to experience again. I know that.
Yes. But,
So what about the Queen's masterstroke, giving the big orange a Winston Churchill biography?
Yeah, I think I asked, I don't know if you were around, Stephen, last week, but I was saying, what does the Queen bloody do? What does the Queen? I'm just trying to wind Peter up, and it worked. But as a head, her role is obviously as the head of state, and she has to meet with other heads of state. And I'm pretty sure she's never met a head of state like you know who. But that was nervous because he can't even read. Can you imagine it? Here you are, Donald. Have this book about Winston Churchill.
No, I mean, you can only have a state visit once, and we are fortunate that it went off without a hitch. I mean, it's due to him. He's the head of state, and no matter how much we malign him, he's representing the USA, and as has been shown today, USA and UK do have strong bonds, and something that goes beyond one person.
Yeah,
which hold us together.
Did you see his? There was a photo, there's loads of photos of Obama when he came across, and he's got this beautifully made long coat, white tie, shirt, and all that sort of stuff. And him and the Queen are standing together, and he's smiling, she's got a smile on her face, and they contrast it with the orange monster in this monstrosity of a
Queen looking very pissed off, yeah.
And they're both. She's thinking, "What on earth am I doing here?" But let's not dignify him with a discussion. He's just not worth it. Not on today of all days. Not worth it. But you're right, Steve. He does represent the Americans, and remember that although they were late the second time to the gig, they made a hell of a difference on the latter stages of the war. And did you see the film on Churchill? There was 2 films last year about the what was the rescue from? It wasn't Normandy, was it? Normandy was where we landed for D-Day.
Yeah,
is that right?
It is.
And where did we take all the guys up from?
That was a couple of years before, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what was the beat? It was Normandy,
British
wasn't it?
Expeditionary Forces. Wasn't that
Yeah,
Calais?
where did all the little ships went?
That was Calais, wasn't it?
No, the funny thing about D-Day, actually, British tried to get it across as like a deploy thing to Germans that actually tried to make them think it was going to be Calais. That was going to be.
No,
So,
Yeah.
I think Stephen's referring to Dunkirk.
Yes,
Well,
indeed.
Where we rescued the British Expeditionary Forces.
Yes, I mean, there was 2 films. There was one with Tom Hardy in his airplane, but then there was the other one about Churchill when he was planning or trying to plan the freedom of the forces. But both incredibly powerful movies. And this guy was sort of another guy I mentioned earlier was talking about the Saving Private Ryan first 20 minutes. And it's a different subject, I know, but have any of you seen Chernobyl on Sky?
No, I missed it. I've got it on my list of things to watch.
no.
I promise you, it is the most horrific, terrible, brilliantly produced piece of literature. I know it's not literature, it's real life, but it's going to be the best, let's say, TV. I'm not belittling it. The best TV you will ever see. It is heartbreaking, horrific. So you feel so angry when you see and we all, people of our age, sorry guys, we do know about this, what happened, and we were, by all accounts, irradiated, maybe a little bit.
We were.
As a result of that disaster. But again, if you get a chance to watch it, you won't be talking much afterwards. We just sat there thinking, oh my God.
What I find about some recreations of actual real life events into drama, it's over dramatized and not actually completely 100% factual. Is this much more to the actual facts then?
Yes,
I haven't.
Yeah, it is. And it's a very interesting point you raise because there's a character in it. It's a female scientist, and she is fictional. And she's fictional, but she's based on a half a dozen, 100, who knows how many other scientists. And so they created a narrative which explained what the other scientists were doing in the aftermath, trying to find out what actually occurred. And so, I mean, you know what happened, but can you imagine being at work and your boss says, do this, and you know it's going to be there's going to be the world's first nuclear disaster, and what do? Because if you refuse to say, if you refuse to press this button, which is what it's about, then he sacks you, and he says to you, and it's in the script, you'll never work anywhere else, not just in this industry. You'll never work anywhere, anytime, ever. So press the, he actually said it, press the effing button. And so he did. And of course, within about a second and a half, it all started to kick off. And but you can put yourself into a scenario when in your pasts where somebody said, do that, mate. No, do it. And it's, so you can relate to it is what I'm trying to say. You can relate to it a teeny little bit. But I promise you.
I heard some extracts on Radio 4 yesterday. Sounded terribly British.
Oh, it is, mate. It is. There's a Facebook group, obviously, of people who watch the program, and and obviously it's an international audience, and they're sort of saying, why is the what was it, Gorbachev? Why is Gorbachev speaking English? Well, it's disturbed. It was produced by HBO, and it's all English speaking actors. But there's there's quite a lot of debate about it. But one of the biggest criticisms is why haven't we, Kevin? Why you throw me now? Oh yeah, why hasn't Russian TV or Ukrainian TV or Belarusian TV or any other bloody TV production company done the show? Why is it taking 50 years, 35 years, 50 years, 36 years? I don't know, for this drama to come out. I mean, I've asked youngsters. I know. Do you know what Chernobyl is? It was, no idea, no bloody idea. That's going back to what you said, Stephen, about the fact 75 years ago today, thousands of young'uns just did an amazing thing. And Kevin did Blabbing to do it.
1986, so it's 33 years, isn't it?
Wow, it's sometimes things though are hidden away for a long while. So sometimes a lot of the facts that they don't want you to know are forgotten, so they can create facts.
Conspiracy theories again. And waiting for the aliens to land. Right, yep. Okay. How do we choose things up?
I was just going to finish off on Chernobyl. This is a Sky production in the UK and an HBO production in America.
Yeah. Well, joint. It's a joint thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And is it significant that both organisations have been taken over in the last 18 months?
Yeah, and that's
money pumped into them they didn't have before.
Nobody's taken HBO over.
Yes, they have. Comcast bought HBO.
Say again?
Comcast have bought HBO.
Who's brought Sky?
Murdoch.
No, Murdoch sold Sky.
He already owned it. Comcast own Virgin Media in this country.
Yeah.
No, Comcast aren't Virgin Media.
They do. Trust me, they do.
All right, okay, I've got it the wrong way round. It's Sky that's owned by Comcast.
Sky's owned by Comcast. Then?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Who owns Virgin Media?
Virgin Media is owned by a company based in Belgium of American HBO. Warner Media.
Oh, right.
What? I always thought it was Virgin Media that was owned by Comcast.
No. Warner Media own HBO. Virgin Media. I ought to know I am a customer.
Right,
it says on the bottom of the bill who they are. Liberty Global.
Right.
We've gone 18 minutes without mention of the dreaded word or the dreaded lady. But I'm going to make a statement here. When you kicked out your job and you know that you've got to spend 3 days representing your country and you feel like crap because you've just been told that you are not the best prime minister ever, I've got to take my hat off to her for her performance over the last week in public.
Yeah. I don't know. You know her speech that she gave where she cried at the end. Broke down at the end. I don't know if any of you guys have seen my Facebook wall, but somebody edited it like the ending of EastEnders because it was that dramatic thing.
Bloody awful woman. Sorry, bloody awful politician.
It's quite funny because she got kicked out at the end of May. So
Let's make John smile and talk about TM resigning and the naught to. Boris is going to win, which will make them even more of a bunch of idiots.
You think so? You
Can
think?
you
So
imagine-
I'm sure there'd be a bunch of idiots, but Boris will win.
What's
Yes.
the bookie saying?
Boris will win. I have been told by great sources that Boris is going to win. The Orange Monster says Boris is going to win.
they'd be like a tag team, wouldn't they? They'd be like a
Yes.
tag team.
There are two pictures that were on the BBC the other day, and I can't believe they were on the BBC, of both of them with ruffled hair, and they could have been cousins.
They might
They're
be.
brothers, but
They just don't know it yet. They can't go on Jeremy Cole to find out. So that's
No, poor old Jeremy, he's had this tin tack as well, hasn't he?
yeah. Jeremy Cole.
Good.
I think-
Boris Johnson apparently is 4-5 on. Michael Gove is 6-1 against, obviously. Jeremy's rhyming slang is 10-1, and the rest of them dreadful bunch.
The unfortunate thing is that the bookies think that the Orange Monster's right as well.
Yeah,
But
they do. Yeah, they're saying, yeah, he's on. He's on. Christ. Can you imagine that? Ugh. Yeah.
But there's one guy in there who actually appears to be telling the truth.
Rory.
That rules him out automatically.
And that's the problem.
Telling
You
the
can't-
truth.
You can't tell the truth. That's a no-no. You're out straight away if you tell the truth.
It says if anybody tells you that this is going to work, it's not. And he then explained why. I'm just trying to get to a list of the candidates.
Rory Stewart I'm talking about.
Yeah, Rory, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Army guy.
Yes, indeed.
Who? Never heard of him. That's
Well, that's
He's
the,
an ex-military officer, I think, and he was our man in Afghanistan and Iraq around about the time of those wars, and he's clever. He really is clever.
he's talking common sense, and he's saying that the whole thing is a Horlicks and a mess, and there is no way that any of this lot, talking about the other 10, can actually sort it. And if they say they can, they're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of person, though, doesn't get any votes, though, do they, unfortunately?
And
It's
under
not
the new
actually-
rules, he won't get the necessary support to go to round 2 anyway.
and it's only 2 going to round 2, isn't it?
Is it?
That's what I think I heard.
Oh. I thought they
When-
voted
when-
it. I thought they
when
voted
did we
it.
actually-
That sound quite a few. Doesn't sound enough, does it?
Sorry, Fons.
Yeah, no. When do we find out who is the replacement?
Probably next week.
It
So
takes
quick as
longer than that because they vote it, the MPs vote it down to,
Oh, okay.
and then it goes out to the whole party to vote.
Well, there is a suggestion that if the person who makes the final 2 who's going to lose realises they're going to lose, they should just stop, and it shouldn't actually go out to the members. Which would make sense. What's the point in holding a vote you know the result of?
Yeah.
No, sorry. No, we should never say that. Never say that. After 2016, you can't say any vote is in the bag. And
The first
Stephen
ballot
nodding.
is going to take place next Thursday,
Yeah.
with further rounds of voting for the 18th, 19th, and 20th if needed. And then, so only 2, so the MPs do all the filtering until 2 people remain. And that then goes to party members. And it looks like Boris Johnson. We mustn't call him Boris anymore because it's flattering for the, apparently, but it's name recognition, isn't it? So
Brand recognition.
Yeah.
Brand Boris.
yeah, we don't want that.
We've no say.
But I mean, we don't give a monkey's, do we? Because we're not Tories. But no, don't go there.
Let's talk about the Lib Dems.
The Labour thing.
You mean Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson? You mean that bloke?
Yeah, from the slums. What an awful situation. Good to see that politics is working. How can Steve take us out of this?
Well, I'm just enjoying. I just want to say thank you to Fons for actually hosting today, because I'm happy to be on screen. So thank you, sir.
Here from us.
Yeah. Right. Okay. News. I mean, good news. We've got to cheer Kevin up. So how can we cheer Kevin up? That's the thing.
Sunny. It's very sunny.
It's sunny here in Wiltshire as well.
Ooh, it's nasty, dark grey clouds here.
Broken
The
clouds.
sun is behind them, but it's not pleasant.
All right. Okay.
It's a bit dark in Cambridge, but it looks like it's going to be a bit sunny. So there's hope somewhere in Cambridge, hopefully.
Right. Okay. The number of youngsters who are actually going to the big city to find work has dropped from 20% to 4%. People are just not moving anymore. Or youngsters are not looking for work in the big city. There used to be a great disparity between wages in Birmingham or Manchester or London and living outside there. You would actually go and work there. That's disappeared. Well, that went down. Sorry?
Is it because transportation has actually got better and people are commuting that used to move into the city?
Could be.
I mean, Birmingham has had lots of places turned into living accommodation in the city, but you need to be on a footballer's wages to afford them.
Well, it's property prices, isn't it? It's not getting better; it's getting worse.
But that's
I mean, to actually buy a house now.
But that's what happens in Cambridge. A lot of people who work in Cambridge don't live in Cambridge. They live in one of the surrounding villages and jump on a train and go into the city centre. Because the joke is, I don't know if there's a little meme thing that goes around. I don't know if you've seen it on the internet. A little boy sitting on a bench from a film, and the bloke asks him, "What's the matter?" And he goes, "He lives in Cambridge because he can't afford a house." But it is ridiculous.
I mean, house prices are just ridiculous today.
Shop prices in Cambridge as well. The Grafton, which is a shopping arcade, has been redesigned, redone up, and all the shops are empty because nobody can afford rent on them.
Yep, and that's why our department stores are disappearing. Because the rents.
We've got yet another Mr. Green, crisis on our hands, haven't we? Where 256 shops could disappear in the next week.
Yeah, it's like all these big names. It's like all these big names. Like it all started, I suppose. The big thing was Woolworths first, and big names like Toys R Us that you think are going to last forever, and other big. I can't think of off the top of my head. All these big names that are disappearing. So it's changing times.
We've lost people like Homebase from Solihull because the rents are too high. They just said, "We're going to shut the store. Bye," because the owners of the park they were on wouldn't move financially. So now there's this great, huge, and it is a huge store sitting empty. So they're earning nothing off it and having to pay the rates themselves.
Hey, we've got some good news on the screen at the moment.
Is trying to build a new factory at its headquarters in Barton upon Humber, North Lincolnshire. Gosh, I'm excited. Actually, we do have a Wren Kitchens in Solihull.
Creating 1,200 jobs.
Yeah.
Provided people can afford to buy new kitchens.
Yeah, it seems to be the in thing though, in at the moment, like fancy kitchens and stuff, and fancy decorations in your house. So it's for how long that lasts. That phase lasts, I suppose.
Well, there is this repair, renovate, reuse, rather than move house, isn't there? I mean,
that's always the case, hasn't it?
Houses at the right price are moving, but anything above 350,000 is hard work to sell around here. And the people across the road from me, they've got a 4-bed detached, and it has taken them 22 months to sell it. They have sold it. They're going back to Scotland. They're both Scottish. They say the 485,000 they've sold their house in Solihull for will buy them a castle in Scotland.
Well, that's it. When we're up in Nelson, the prices of houses in Nelson are a third of what they are down here.
Where's Nelson?
Nelson is in Lancashire. It's near to Blackburn. It's 20 miles north of Manchester.
It's why he's a Burnley supporter.
It is. I was born in Burnley. I mean, I don't just support any team on a whim. I was actually born in Burnley, so I do have the claim of actually, being connected to the town. And we're in the Premiership again next year, just to.
And we're up there with you.
I know.
Well, Stoke will be langering. Where is it? What's it called? The Championship. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I mean. You knew what I meant.
Take it in the spirit it was mentioned.
Do you follow Cambridge at all, Fonz? Or do you have
Cambridge?
No football interest?
No, I don't. I'm not a football person.
I don't think any of us go to matches, but we all have a team we look at the results of and big up.
Yeah, that's true. Talking of bigging up, well, not necessarily bigging up.
Well, see what you did there, Steve. You're taking us from one discussion into another one.
Segues.
No, it's a skill, isn't it? No wonder you're an award winner, mate. You're an award winner. You're an award winner, I'll tell you that.
Thank you for that. Talking of football and bigging it up, and we don't need to, it's the Women's World Cup.
Oh, I know, yes.
And we're favourites, aren't we?
No, we've got Portugal to beat.
I hate to tell you, but Peter's Land is the favourites.
Scotland?
Right.
What? What about USA?
Are you talking about the women's football?
I am, yeah.
Okay, let's say the European favourites are Scotland, and the world leaders are the USA. But Scotland are amongst the favourites, shall we say?
But England won last time around. England ladies.
Yeah.
I'm only telling you what they said.
Confusion reigns. Nothing new here. This is Blabbing for Britain, where we take it in turns to
confuse each other. Nice day, isn't it? Yes, love. Yeah, oh, yes. 4:30. Oh, yeah, lovely.
We will see anyway, won't we?
But we've got English male football tonight.
Yeah.
Which is England versus
somebody.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
If they win, then on Sunday you've got the final of the European, where the hell it is.
Yeah. European made-up competition.
The Nations League.
Okay.
I've just talking about sports. I've just thought of an idea to sort out Brexit. What they need is a wrestling match with somebody representing Britain, and whoever wins, if Britain wins, we stay.
Didn't you know wrestling matches are fixed?
Oh yeah. That's what makes it brilliant. That's what makes it spot on.
Nice call, both of you. We'll keep that one, Stephen.
I'm going back to the 75th D-Day landings. Did anybody see Sheridan Smith dressed up to look like and sounding like Vera Lynn yesterday?
No.
I could have.
She sang to all of the
Yeah.
people who were there in Portsmouth.
Wow.
And she was absolutely magic, to be honest.
Well, she did the West End show, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said it was one of her proudest moments because it would have made her dad proud.
Yeah.
But he's not with us any longer. So
2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, please.
yeah, I can remember that well. You've got a good few people who've gone on to do well from there.
Yeah.
With Will, I can't think of his surname now. But yes, I loved 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps.
Yeah,
but of course, that was your neck of the woods, wasn't it? Really?
It was. It was
the
up
guy
north.
in it when he was in the royal family as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
One of them. Ralph Little, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, and then the other guy, Will something or other, he ended up in Casualty, and then he was in the film, King Arthur film, and various other things. But yeah, the old days.
Nostalgia.
Good old days when BBC Three existed on terrestrial TV, and the channel lineup don't make any sense anymore because it goes BBC One, BBC Two, and BBC Four.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday in Devices, or certainly in the Southwest yesterday, was Retune Your TV Day. Because they've changed the setup, and we all had to retune our televisions.
Is that coming an annual event now?
It seems to be every 3 months. Anyway, for majority of the population, it was a straightforward task. But there were complaints galore in the Devices issue, which is a Facebook group, saying that they'd lost the BBC and ITV, and people said, well,
That's
don't worry about that.
You just stop paying your TV license. No problem.
That wouldn't work. So basically, it's a retune that went totally wrong, and you couldn't get hold of a TV engineer yesterday in Devices for love nor money. And they must be raking it in yesterday and today, because some of the set-top boxes that actually needed retuning didn't retune properly. It's a software update that went wrong.
So this
rarity.
Is you, I presume.
It is,
yeah. Because I noticed on cable last night it was saying that Dave has moved down 2 doors on Freeview. In other words, it dropped by 2 channels. But
it's weird. Whatever.
Having cable, I don't do any of these things anymore.
Yeah, we only watch 2 channels. That's channel 21 and channel 39. That's it.
What channels are they?
It's 5 USA.
Is it? I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I've got cable, so it's.
You've got CSI, NCIS.
They're all bullshit. No,
they're all distractions.
The better one.
I mean, if you want to switch off for an hour or two, then you just chill and you just watch. Well, they're just stories well told in 50 minutes. So
I tell you, the only thing that I really watch on TV though is documentaries about like historical events. I don't know why this history thing I've got going here, but I like watching it. And murder programs. Actually, some of my friends and family are come concerned about how many murder programs that I watch. I'm quite concerned that I'm not safe to be around.
Excuse me.
Have you seen on BBC One Tuesday evenings Professor Brian Cox and the latest series are called Planets?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him. There's something smarmy about him.
About what? A planet?
No, Professor Brian Cox.
Here we are looking at Mars, and John thinks it's smarmy. It's deliciously wonderful program.
He's probably an alien. It's one of those conspiracies.
All right.
I like the impressions that they do, and it's such fun. And I'm going to see John. I'm up in Birmingham. Sorry, down in Birmingham on the 20-something of September.
All right.
Going to see old Mr. Cox at the arena. So if you want a coffee in Solihull, are you close to Solihull Town Centre?
I'm only a few minutes from there. Which arena?
The
NEC arena or the city centre arena?
I don't know. I'll have a look. Talk amongst yourselves while I do. ARENA. My order. Confirmation for the Arena Birmingham.
But that's the one in the city centre, I think you'll find.
Oh, okay. Near the NI. Is it what used to be called the NIA?
Yeah.
Oh, fair dues. Fair dues. Oh well, if you're in Birmingham that day, it's a Saturday though. We could have a brew. I was hoping it might be Thursday and we could do a Blabbing from Britain. Because I have met men off the internet before, you know, John.
Yeah. You've met Stephen off the internet.
Yeah.
Met Stephen. Yeah.
Ah.
How long ago? That was a good couple of years ago, mate.
It was a couple of years ago, yeah. Indeed, it was. Anyway, talking about meeting up, the new season of I Live Here starts next Tuesday at 2:00 with Fonz and myself. And I'm sure that during the series, we can actually plan this time to actually meet up and do I Live Here together, which would be good.
Yeah.
So I Live Here next Tuesday at 2 p.m. and we're starting off. Where are we starting off, Fonz?
Well, I was at Strawberry Fair this weekend, just gone. I met the legendary Danny Sloggett, whose catchphrase is "Shine on." So shine on, Danny. But yeah, it was a packed event. It was literally, you couldn't move, and I got a little bit of video while I was there. I didn't hang around too long because it was so hot and so many people there. I'll never look a little bit at that. And I actually been chatting to some people I know. I actually got some archive footage of the Strawberry Fair in the 70s as well. So we're going to show that.
Okay, which raises the question. Who is Danny Sloggett?
Danny Sloggett.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For people that don't know who Danny Sloggett is, he started off on TV on BBC when they did a story about his life when he was a young lad. He's been on Channel 5 since. He's been on different programs on Sky. He's a champion, what you would say, for Jaywick. So he basically tries to get the good side of Jaywick, because Jaywick sadly has got a bit of a bad reputation, and he's there trying to get the good side of Jaywick out to people. So he's done programs about that.
Yeah,
Jaywick, and he makes about. I was going to say he makes 100 videos a day on Facebook. So if you follow Danny Sloggett on Facebook, be prepared to be tagged into about 100 posts of his videos. He's a great guy. He's a great guy, though. He's a great guy, and he always, every sentence he says has to say "shine on."
Jaywick was voted the worst place to live in Britain, and from the films that Danny takes, you can tell why.
Oh yeah, you can.
Sorry.
Well, if you want cheap property, you're talking about expensive property. If you want cheap property, you just go to Jaywick. You could buy for one house in Cambridge. You could probably buy about 10 in Jaywick.
Yeah. But there is a good side to all this. In that Danny he's got a social club going in Jaywick.
It's a social club for not young people, older people, because there's basically the community doesn't get nothing basically, and he set up the Jaywick Happy Club, and it was on a 12-hour broadcast that we did last year that he went around and spoke to people, and this Happy Club, how it changed their life, really give them a purpose, because a lot of people were just stuck at home doing nothing, and it really turned things around, and that's how Danny's been seen in the media and why he's come a bit of a champion for Jaywick.
Right. Well, Danny won't be on I Live Here next week at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, but Fonz and I will. Yeah.
He'll be doing another video. His Facebook page.
Listen up, guys. Just got to get a parcel. Back a minute.
Okay.
If you're going to join up and broadcast together, are you going to meet halfway and do a "I don't live here" broadcast?
Yeah.
That's not a bad
Like
idea. Where would halfway be?
Like a spoof, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got to be somewhere with decent Wi-Fi because you need a portable to actually do it. Interesting.
Do either of you have free BT Wi-Fi in the street?
You mean hotspots?
Well, they are hotspots, but they used to be telephone boxes, but they're now replaced around here with what looks like advertising hoards. But when you go to the side,
Yeah.
there is a panel, and you can make telephone calls across the internet, video phone calls across the internet.
Okay. No, I'm not
You
seeing
have
that.
to use a card, but to
Yeah.
pay for it. But as a byproduct of that, it is a free BT hotspot.
I'll have to see if I can find one. I don't think we'll have one in devices.
It's only
but you never
good
know.
if you've got BT login.
I don't have a BT. I haven't. I think I once did use a BT hotspot, so
Yeah.
it's possible. It's quite
Well,
possible.
I mean, it's mainly aimed at phones, isn't it? And some of the, I mean, like EE is part of BT, so all EE users can log in and use it.
Yeah, I'm a 3 person.
Well,
Not many people are.
Got rid of me 3 MiFi because you get a massive 30 gig allowance in on my phone. I just make my phone my hotspot instead of using a MiFi.
Right.
Save £12 a month.
Right. Okay.
And yesterday, us Huawei
am I right thinking
users,
it's 5G now as well?
us Huawei users got updates for Android.
You did? I thought you were banned. I thought you've been cast out. It's working. Oh, all right. Okay. Well, I mean the CEO of Huawei, and I wish to change the spelling so we could actually say it consistently correctly. Came on the other day, and he said, "We don't need the USA to be successful. Our market outside the USA is big enough." But that's not the problem, is it? Because
the problem is the fact that because the USA have put them on the list, the people in Cambridge who, can't supply them with chip designs. So they'll just buy some people and start their own chip design business.
That's it. They've got the resources. They've got infinite resources in reality. State-backed. They can come along and engineer. I'm sure they've got people who are capable of actually engineering chips. I think they've got their own chipset in their own operating system, haven't they?
Well, the chipset's all used.
Oh.
It isn't the chipset the processor chipset, because that's a standard. That is made in China. It's the control chipsets that actually make the processor do things that it's a Cambridge design.
You're very pensive, Steve.
Keep their 5 offices.
Did I hear Cambridge?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, did you hear Cambridge? You did, Fonz.
I just had a nip. I had a nip off for a second then, so I wasn't listening.
Oh, we're talking about Huawei.
Who
Who are they?
The Americans
They make the best phones you can buy.
If Trump gets his way and if the Yanks get their way, nobody will use Huawei stuff. And they're just, the sort of Five Eyes thing where they share intelligence.
Oh, yeah. And the moment they manage to sit down and agree a trade agreement, all of this shit will disappear.
There you go. That's the only reason they do it.
Because it's just leverage to make them agree a deal.
Exactly.
All of this fuzz is just to make the Chinese agree a trade deal.
Yep. Absolutely, completely agree.
It's times like this you need Noel Edmonds, isn't it? You can sit and
We've got 11 minutes left,
or no
guys.
deal.
We need to find something to say. Yes, well, it's madness in our house. My wife got up at 5:15 yesterday.
Let's talk about the wedding. The wedding, John.
I wasn't going to talk about the wedding, was I? No, I was going to talk about flowers. They went out yesterday at 5:15 to go to the wholesalers to buy the flowers for the wedding. Because my wife is a trained flower arranger maker, and the cousin of his mum is also a florist, so they're doing them themselves rather than getting a florist to do it. So,
well, it's more personal and probably better done.
Off to where the flowers have all been taken to, and they're all going to do it there. So it's all go. I've got my suit. I collected it yesterday. I've never spent 17.5 quid on a tie before, but I've bought 17.5 quid and a white shirt at £29.50. I nearly died, but
it's not just for Saturday, John. It's not just for Saturday.
Well, tell me what the only other time I wear a suit is funerals, so I won't be able to wear me flowery tie without that.
Are we gonna see photos of you in this suit?
Of course you will. Yeah. You only have to wait till Saturday. 1 o'clock Saturday, the event is.
And where's that?
It's at St Mary and St Margaret in Castle Bromwich. And then we walk across the lawns and through the maze to the Castle Bromwich Hall Hotel. The church was built in 1637 by the then owners of the hall. The hall has been destroyed by an army and burnt down and rebuilt twice in the time the church has been there. So the hall looks nothing like the hall that was there when the church was built. So it was like the family church of the then family of the hotel.
And how were the rehearsals? Were you there?
What a farce. It was a farce. Everybody laughing, little kids running all over the place. A vicar that couldn't control a cup of tea, yet alone an event. So I'm looking forward to Saturday to see what it's like. It was a farce.
Oh.
And of course, the chief bridesmaid, or whatever you care to call her, wasn't there because she lives in South London, so she didn't come up just for a rehearsal. She used to live next door but one to us, but now lives in, just like Alice's best friend, but now lives in South London. Yeah, you know. And then afterwards, me and 3 of the little girls, about 5 and 7-ish type there, it has a war commission graves in the church, and we went round those, and the girls picked flowers and put flowers on all of the war graves, which I thought was quite neat. I'm not sure they should have been picking flowers, but they did. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of the Collector Road, but it's a road that runs parallel with the M6 and collects traffic to go on the M6. That stole the end of the church's graveyard. So a lot of the old graves have been moved into a new place. So they're, we're talking 50 years ago, but there. And the church, if you go over the other side and look out, you can see a great big view of what would have been Castle Bromwich Aerodrome, from Castle Bromwich and Castle Vale Aerodrome, where they made the Spitfires and Hurricanes in World War II.
Right. Okay. Breaking news.
It's a
Just
great big housing estate now, by the way.
breaking news, and just to show that we are live, is that Ford has announced that Bridgend is to close.
Well, I kind of thought we'd all worked that one out by
Which
now.
is a sad day. But rumours are one thing, official statement is another. I mean, they manufactured 2 engines, one of which is no longer needed, and the second one. But the motor industry has been in turmoil for as long as I can remember. But it used to be one of the 2 indicators of an economy doing well. House prices going up and cars being sold were 2 of the major indicators.
And Ford Leamington Spa was moved to Bridgend because they used to make engines in Leamington Spa next to the railway station, and that was closed and moved to Bridgend.
Yeah,
a long while back, but
So all these skills that we're going to lose, that's the shame of it, people losing their jobs and their livelihoods. And I mean, if you say 1,700 people are going to lose their jobs, then that's going to affect 17,000 people because of the supply chain. Yeah.
It's madness, isn't it?
Totally.
Is there anything positive to end on?
Positive? I don't know. A positive note to end on.
Anything positive? Has Donald Trump gone home? That's positive.
No, he went to Ireland yesterday.
You never know whether a quote is true or not. You never know. But his parting shot to the Irish Prime Minister was, "Don't worry about it, build the wall and everything will be okay." So his solution is to actually build a wall between Northern... I mean, how many crossings are there? 160 odd crossings between Northern and Southern Ireland, and it's going to be a hell of a wall, because it's not going to be a straight wall, is it? It's going to...
Well, Trump's good at building walls.
That wall is actually being built, though, isn't it, Stephen?
I wonder how many bricks. I wonder how many bricks it's going to take.
What do you mean? Oh, he's gone.
Well, there can't be a wall between Northern and Southern Ireland. Simple as.
There's going to be a wall between America and Mexico.
Well, the way he keeps shoving monetary penalties on them for something that they really can't control is ridiculous.
Penalties on them? Yeah, you on about the 5% tariffs? He's just stuff on
that raises by 5% every fortnight.
Yeah, but the point is, who pays that? It ain't the Mexicans.
No, it's his own people in the end.
Yeah.
All those avocados, they'll have an avocado.
Well, a lot of it's aimed at Japanese cars, because Japanese cars are mostly built, that are sold in North America, are mostly built in Mexico. So he's trying to encourage people to buy US-built cars.
Have you heard that they said that 90% of the drugs that come into the United States come from the south? And somebody pointed out, they come through the border control place and airports.
Yeah.
It was just bonkers. So that's a sort of funny ha-ha type ending to the thing, isn't it? Like, oh my God, he's still there.
Last one, the stamps that the post office have released to commemorate the 75th D-Day anniversary are stunning. So if you get a chance, chaps, have a look at them.
Philately will get you everywhere, John. Sorry.
That was a nice play on words, Stephen. I inherited, actually Celia inherited my dad's stamp collection. It is massive. I don't know what to say really, other than we've inherited a massive philately collection.
You remember the days of stamp collecting when you suddenly found you got a penny black in your collection and you were chuffed to bits because that was the stamp that you wanted in your stamp album, and then you talk to your mates and they've all got one too.
penny
remember
bread.
they used to come every week, didn't they? If you were rich, and you could open wait by the door, and then your stamps. This week's stamps had come through, and put them in your album, and then put the album.
I remember. Yeah.
Got bloody loads of them. Might be worth
Okay, guys, I think we've come to the end of the show. I think we've come to the end of the show.
Well, I've got to do a load of things and finish my VAT before Saturday. So
who wants the final word?
Oh, it's always John.
It's normally me that.
There you go, then. Final word.
Yeah. So for the second week running, we're going to say our goodbyes with an unusual direction, because usually I say it's goodbye from him up there, meaning our friend in Scotland, but he's not with us today. He's having to do some work for a change. No, I didn't really say that. It's goodbye from our friend up there in Stoke. Wave. Oh, he's not going to wave. Goodbye from our friend down there in Devizes, king of the plastic in the canal thing. Now, there's actually a Canals and River Trust push to remove plastic from the things, and one of the 9 points of where they're coordinating it is actually Devizes. The other one funny enough, one of them's Birmingham. Right. And so goodbye, Devizes, goodbye. And now we're going to say goodbye from over there, which is our friend Fons from Cambridge. And thanks for being our controller this week. We've enjoyed you joining in. And then it's goodbye from the Midlands. It's goodbye from me, goodbye from Stephen, goodbye from Stephen, and goodbye from Fons.
Bye.
Bye. Well, bye.
Obviously, where we do the bit, today.
We're still live, aren't we?
Yeah, we're still live. Somebody else.
Okay.